Hello people, so it's no big surprise that I haven't been the most enthusiastic Boruto reviewer when it comes to my channel. I kind of watched a few episodes and after that I wasn't feeling it. There's two different continuities between both the same franchise. You have the manga counterpart and you have the anime, which is taking a filler type standpoint. Which, don't get me wrong, there are some interesting moments, but either way, it's like, get why that is. It's because obviously they don't want to catch up with the manga. Obviously, we'll take a Dragon Ball Super type of approach where the anime transcends the manga. Can't have that, so they have to infuse filler. Sometimes that could work. Sometimes if it could be too much, I'm like, okay. So I took a step back. I previously just caught up. We're back almost to episode 100, episode 99 right now. And it took me a couple of days to catch up, by the way. So I'm going to talk about the Mitsuki disappearance arc, or like what I like to refer to as the Sasuke retrieval 2.0 arc, because that's exactly what the vibes that I got. It's a similar type of arc, but the motivations for leaving are totally different, so I have to give them props for that. I start watching after the Boruto the movie stuff, and we do get a reference, a content from chapter 13 where we have Boruto with a tattoo. We know that curse mark's going to manifest into what we saw at the beginning of Boruto with Kawaki. So when and how is the question. So then we come to find out the prophecy laid from Momoshiki. So you defeated the god, so you can no longer live a normal life. And Boruto says, screw that, I was never intended to live a normal life. We get a conversation between Sasuke and Boruto about, by the way, I had the Rinnegan, so I saw the conversation you had with Momoshiki. So that curse mark on your hands, yeah, don't be alarmed, but it's not normal. Of all people, Sasuke saying it's not normal. I mean, we do get a bit of filler stuff with Chojo, and that's all well and good. I mean, it's to give them spotlight, but either way, this is a serious type of art with Mitsuki and his disappearance, and the reason why. And like I said, it's got vibes from the Sasuke retrieval art from Naruto Part 1, but there are major differences to originality, but you kind of have to admit that's what they were going for. And there's some great, don't get me wrong, there's some great shout-outs to Naruto Part 1 and 2. So I'll get into that. So we have Team 7, and then after that, Team 10 join up. So it goes as follows. They get a brief interaction with Inoki after the Kage Summit, because we have all the Kage and the previous Kage attending to thoughts on what to do with the Itsuki clan, knowing that there's a threat on the way. I love how they foreshadowed that, so there's something to look forward to even after all this. I'm not attending this, so he has a brief tour alongside inside Konoha with Boruto and Sarada. They're supposed to guide Inoki to the Kage Summit, to the meeting, right? Inside Naruto's office, but Boruto's like, screw that, we'll give you a grand tour. So that turns out to be foreshadowing, because Inoki says, hey, maybe when you're in the land of Earth, the Hidden Stone Village, maybe you should meet up. So then it goes as follows. Mitsuki ends up being, he's given a note, he's given a letter, and he's not encountered by the Stone Ninja 4. Obviously a reference to the Sound Ninja 4 from back in the day. We have Kakio, Seke, Kako, we have Kako, Kiara, and Ku. I guess Ku has been the main threat of this, the main leader of this, or we meant to believe that. Either way, of the Hidden Stone. So Mitsuki, he burns the letters and he's like, I'm gone. He leaves the headband behind, and the Jonin, the shinobi, the leaf shinobi ends up getting attacked, ends up relaying the message back to Naruto and company, ends up being taken out by Mitsuki with a lightning snake. All on it seems like it, and he uses a miniature snake to stop his heart, so the Stone Ninja 4 would not attack any further, so he can relay this message onto the Hokage. So right there and then, the vibes, the tension is not there, because, okay, what's Mitsuki's reason for leaving? Because at least Boruto a message like, oh, I'm doing this to find my will. So, and then but if he was really going to betray the Konoha, where a lot of people meant to believe that was the case, leave a clue for Boruto, so there's definitely something up. Obviously, you know Boruto and Sarada, and it's been chased, and it's kind of interesting because Boruto didn't know a thing about Mitsuki. He didn't even know where he lived. They're on the same team. Sarada had to check up because to find out where he actually lives. They didn't know nothing about him, and it's funny because the moment they realized they knew nothing about Mitsuki, he had already left. So that, I mean, the emphasis is so it becomes, so they leave the village, and obviously that's going to, they realize what they're doing is pretty dumb, even though you kind of understand where they're coming from. But either way, it's like, yeah, you know you're going to get punished for this. So that's where the issue becomes, because it becomes a rescue arc for the sake of it. It doesn't really execute. The execution could have been better, I thought. Maybe you should just tie this guy up. I think it's Koki actually says maybe just restrain this guy and stop him from moving so he doesn't pull any funny business. And Mitsuki's like, no, I'm not going to pull anything. He ends up actually growing somewhat attached to Seki, who wants to know what it is to have a friend. So it appears at first glance, these then it fast forward into Boruto meeting up with the Orochimaru, and the origin of Mitsuki, the fact that he is a created son of Orochimaru. We also had a cool interaction with Sarah and Karin, who says, Karin's like, oh, those glasses look pretty nice on you. After, I guess, Yamato and his company give chase, the trackers give chase to Team 7. And Karin, I love the way she just trolls Yamato. So like, you should pay more attention, Yamato. So I fooled you kind of easily. And I'll admit, that's kind of trash on the part of Yamato to actually fall for that. But you've seen the arc already. You don't need me to repeat everything and go into every detail. I'll just give you my brief points. I love the fights are great. The character moments we got were great with like Inojin, Shikadai, Sarada, obviously Boruto, Mitsuki, and of course Seki, who ended up being the enemy of one of the Stone Ninja 4. Yes, the fight with Kiara, and it's kind of cool seeing her Dojutsu eye technique where she can manipulate opponents' bodies, her opponents, because you had a brief fight between Boruto and Sarada, which ended up being a struggle, but they ended up getting through that. So I thought that was kind of cool. She ends up summoning a gigantic Akuta monster, which is I guess the Boruto version of the White Zetsu. And it's funny because Inoki, when he gets revealed as pretty much the main source of this problem, he's the one that caused it because of his grandson dying. It's revealed that, oh, maybe we can use a White Zetsu army because there's so many youths that end up being, that do not need to be sacrificed. Some soulless, lifeless forms made from my clones, by the way. It's going to be the White Zetsu army that take up the fighting for the shinobi so nobody has to die. There's no needless sacrifices. The problem with that is that these characters end up having wills and thoughts of their own. So it's like sending, as Boruto stated, it's like sending humans into battle anyway. So there's no big difference. But then we get a gigantic Akuta monster summoned by Kiara. When you saw the snake, the Garaga snake that was contracted to Boruto, he just summons it, and obviously it's a homage to Gaara versus Naruto. End up having Sarada versus Kiara. She ends up using Genjutsu to trick her to think she's got stabbed. No. But there's a twist in the tale in midway in the arc when Mitsuki using lightning stake on Boruto. When he's about to hand Mitsuki the headband, he snaps it away and then uses the technique on Boruto. Right, and Sarada's shocked. So obviously, what the hell's going on here? Is a Team 7 split again? Mitsuki's goal is for leaving many different reasons. One was to help out Konoha to find out what coup the main leader of the Stone Ninja 4, as I like to call them too, grant human hearts because they realize that the time is short, especially Seki's, who ended up having an attachment to Mitsuki. That's the reason why he went to help them out and to find out what the plan was, so he can stop it. So he actually ends up stabbing, ironically, Coup for the heart ends up being a clone of pretty much Inoki. And I'm not gonna lie, that look that Inoki gave when Boruto and Sarada asked, can we see Mitsuki again? It's like, no, get the hell out of here. What the hell are you doing, Inoki? Are you gone senile? And I love how you have the previous Kage interact. You have the Raikage and you have Kakashi. And rather than panicking, so we can't panic about this, and you have Mei just chilling out. So he needs to keep self-composure because, I mean, never leads to anything when they go senile and betray anybody, because being Raikage, because Killer B was targeted again by the Itsuki clan, by Momoshiki and Kinshiki, right? And he was the Eight Tails was distracted, so I thought he would be the one to go nuts and to start shit. No, that's not what it turns out. Instead, he's teaching Kakashi how to eat. So maybe by the end of this Boruto series, maybe we're going to find out that Kakashi ended up having a tangerine tree. Maybe he can get pointers from Nami from One Piece. So it's not being wrapped up. You have Team 7 reunited. The reunion is in full swing once Boruto hands Mitsuki the headband. He puts it on. Team 7's back together. Where have you heard that before? And we have Mitsuki versus Coup. And that's the moment he acted Sage mode, that was great. That was a great moment. Mitsuki get well-needed development, as well as Boruto and Sarada end up connecting with Mitsuki even more. You got a great moment with Konohamaru realizing that he's a grandchild, created child of Orochimaru. Even though Konohamaru has a beef with Orochimaru, he doesn't hold that against Mitsuki, and he actually embraces him by the end of the arc. So that's a great character moment. Tsunade getting pissed about this when she finds out. It's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing, Naruto? Allowing this child at the academy? I'm surprised that the elders are still alive. They're troublemakers alongside Danzo. You imagine what happened if Danzo was still alive? He's like, no, let's scrutinize Mitsuki right now. But then again, he aided Orochimaru, so how much of what he would have done with Mitsuki? He probably would have used Mitsuki for his own gain, kind of like he did with Itachi. 17th versus Ku fight, he actually extracts a heart from a doctor, ends up planting the 5 heart surgery. Kako, Kiara, and Seki hearts. It kind of reminds me of Kakuzu for the Akatsuki, because he just extracted hearts from anybody and just implanted it himself. No surgery needed, extracted the doctor's heart, and it's like, oh, I need a human heart, there's not enough raw materials. Ku goes nuts because he turns on Inoki, who tried to stop this, and ends up sacrificing his life to stop Ku with a gigantic part of Scout Jutsu. I thought he would die during the 4th Ninja War in his fight against Mara. No, it turns out he had a great character moment and a send-off. They do get a temporary punishment because they do lose the rank as Genin, but it turns out they're not even team anymore. But when Kurosuchi finds out, oh, what's going on, we owe Team 7 a great debt, so they're welcome to come to the Hidden Stone Village anytime they see fit. So Boruto gives the headbands back to Team 7. They're a team again. We get that fist bump we never got with Seki and Mitsuki. He passed away. And I think it goes back to what Itachi was saying at Kisame, where you only realize what type of person you are up until the moment of your death. That's what happened with Seki and the rest of Stone Ninja 4, right? Turns out even Kakio, who I thought that was one of the best fights of the entire arc with Team 10, I guess, Team Shikadai, Chocho, and Inujin, where Inujin just uses his mother's technique, like Inu used to do, the transferred jutsu. That was kind of cool. It was temporary, but Shikadai relaying the message to Kakio. So that only works if your hearts are connected. So the fact that it worked must mean you have a heart somewhere in that body of yours. So that was a great character moment. Shikadai got some well-needed development in this arc. A reference to having a pet on the retrieval mission, kind of like Kiba and Akamaru. I don't know. That's just I just find that very, very ironic. And what's cool about this is like you have Team 5 and Team 15 end up encountering Team 7 and realizing Mitsuki, hey, you're back, cool. So it's not just Sarada and Boruto that care about Mitsuki. I find it hilarious how Metal Lee missed out on the main fight. Kind of how Rock Lee at the beginning, he decided to train because his leg was messed up from his fight with Gaara, but ended up helping out Naruto in his fight with Kimimaru. For like father, like son, hey. So that arc gets wrapped up. There's no repercussions, or it's temporary if there is. Then we go over to, I guess, some chill out episodes. The parent and child day, that was kind of cool for Naruto and Himawari looking for Kurama. So I thought that was funny, adorable too. On the same time, Sasuke trying to understand his daughter Sarada, trying to give her a piggyback. She's not having that. It's like Sasuke not understanding his daughter at all. He even gets lessons from Kakashi. Say, hey, you may have the Monkey Sharingan, but you can't see his daughter's feeling. And I love how he just hands Sasuke the make out tactics. And after I guess he picks up a trait or two because he can't talk for shit when it comes. He's not social at all. So it doesn't work. He's like, I love the moment where he says, hey, Kakashi, hand me that make out tactics books. And Kakashi's like, oh, you finally going to read this? Sasuke's like, no, I'm going to throw it into the river because maybe I should throw you into the river. But use this garbage advice. That was hilarious. But my point in this is we don't really get to see Sasuke in this fight. He's usually super serious. So not since part 1, or at least until any flash, even giving lessons, advice from Sakura. So the next best thing, right, to who knows adore more than Sakura. So that was kind of cool. Even though that's meant to be for gag purposes and funny related stuff for Sasuke, we do get a great character moment from him when he finds out that Sarada wants to become the Hokage. And he's like, oh, I support you 100%, that's your dream, don't give up, which is surprising because That's the advice Naruto is usually give, and it's like, since you're following that path, you won't make the same mistake as I did, because I once wanted to become the Hokage for it. So I love that character moment from Sasuke to Sarada. It's just a great father and daughter bonding. We got a great moment where Boruto and Naruto finally getting some time to train during the parent and child days, so that was great. We're pretty much caught up to, I guess, to even when Nami is getting some well-needed development where she learns how to control her jutsu more, so she can help out her comrades Sumire and Wasabi, so she doesn't end up deafening them. That was hilarious. The tears end up being a weapon, so she's like, I'm going to cry, but I'm going to cry for the sake of my comrades so I can protect them. And actually getting some coach advice from Hanabi. She gets fired up because when Namida realizes she wants to train more, she gets fired up too, because that inspiration, it fired me up too. So that's great from Hanabi. They're interacting with Team 7 right now with Jugo. Although they were supposed to go back to Konoha, they get encountered by a trio that's specialists in using a net brace that has the power to control a curse mark. Jugo's interacting with Team 7, so that's great. Another member of Team Taka, alongside Kari and Suigetsu now, that's interacted. I'll just give you my thoughts on where I stand with Boruto. I have not dropped the series. I have not said, fuck this amount. I just decided to take a step back. And you know what? It made things enjoyable for me. It really did. So there's some moments that kind of question mark. There's some moments I just don't care about. But there are some enjoyable moments for the most part. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys have given up on Boruto, or if you've gone, what you guys think about the Mitsuki arc, etc., etc. That's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more Boruto. Comment down with your thoughts. Thanks, guys. Bye.